Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Sid here from TCR. Thanks for clicking on the video. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Today we are banding my 11-week-old kid. We're going to be turning him from a buckling into a wether. So let's go do it. Now this is going to be my first time actually banding an animal, weathering a goat for sure. I have watched hours and hours of various YouTube channel footages of the banding procedure. I have read articles about it on blogs, and I have tried to, educate myself as well as I can on, how the procedure should go, what to look for afterwards. So ideally with a male, when you're taking a buckling, which is a before the complete point of maturity buck male that is intact, what you're doing when you're banding him, you're turning him into what they call a wether, which is a male whose testes have been removed and before they've gone through essentially maturing, puberty and all of that, but are old enough that their testicles have dropped enough and they're just starting to mature, but they're not like full on, they've never been in rut or all that. Not to say that you can't castrate and do things of that nature later on, but we're specifically focusing on banding kids today because that's what we're doing. Now the reason we wait until they're somewhere between 10 to 14 weeks is sort of the window for kids is because with the males, if they are castrated too young, they are prone to what's called urinary calculi, which is sort of like a kidney stone. Their little ureters just haven't developed correctly, or had enough time, rather, I should say, to develop fully, which can cause them to have problems passing these things. Now, obviously there's minerals and things that you can give them that have like the ammonium chloride in it and things like that, which is in most of your goat mineral mixes to help prevent things like that. The females can get it as well. It's just a lot more common in males, specifically in males that are banded or castrated at too young an age before their little reproductive and urinary tract system has gone through a certain stage of maturity. However, you could still have an intact buck that ends up with urinary calculi. I know because it happened to me. So with this guy being 11 weeks, we're gonna go ahead and do the deed today. It should take anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks for the banded testes. You're essentially, picture, putting a rubber band around a ponytail and then cutting the ponytail off, minus the cutting. You're just banding right above those testes, and within a couple of hours, it's killing the nerves and the blood supply to those testes. And then after that, between 2 weeks to 4 weeks, they will basically just drop off, and sometimes you'll apparently find them intact. I've had animals that were banded when I got them that had just been banded, so I've actually seen the process before. I've just never actually done the banding, and I've found the remains of their manhood, I guess you could say, previously. So I know what looks normal. You want to make sure that you're checking that there aren't any sores or anything during the process, but you also don't want to be messing around with them down there. So you just want to kind of take a quick peek, make sure that they're not messing around with it, because you do not want it to tear off too soon for obvious reasons without it kind of closing up on its own. It's like picking at a scab. We generally don't want to do that. It's bad. It can cause infection. It can cause issues. So we don't want to do that. We just want to let it be. We want to let it do its own time frame thing, but we do want to, keep an eye on it, check on it every now and again, and during that time frame. Another thing that is important to remember, that when you go to band your boy, you want to make sure that they are up to date on their CD&T. We just did a video last week on giving their kids their first CD&T shot. So they've had that in their system now for a week, and I'm confident now that if there were to be an issue while his manhood was detaching, as far as a sore or something like that, that he would be less likely to develop tetanus because he's now been inoculated and everything should be kosher on that end of things. So this little bag here is full of these little green donuts. Let's see if I can get it nice and close so you guys can see it. Now these bad boys are what's going to stretch out. Now you can't do this with your hands. I'm showing you that you can't open it up big enough to get their testes through. What you do is all of your devices are going to come to a little point here. So you're simply going to slide your little green donut on to your device, just like so. And then when you spread it, it opens it up. So simply all we're going to be doing is holding this open, letting his testes fall through here. We're going to make sure they're all the way through and all the testes are down below, that none of it is above your band. You do want to make sure you get it all the way through, and you want to make sure that none of the teat on them on either side that are kind of above the balls, those little tiny nubs, you want to make sure that those guys are not inside this band. You want them above, those little teats above the band, and you want everything that is testes below the band. And then once you get them securely in there, you're simply going to release it and pull this out, and they're banded, then they're good to go. I have studied this. We're gonna give my first attempt and of doing it actually myself, and I'm gonna have Mike help me. He's gonna hold our little buckling while I take him into becoming a wether. Now they're gonna be uncomfortable for a little bit. That first couple of hours of those nerves dying off and cutting the blood supply off, he's gonna be uncomfortable, but after that, not so much. And then you're looking, like I said, at that 2 to 4 weeks where everything is gonna be happening, and he's gonna be losing that nugget. If he's in a closed pen when it happens, I'll be able to retrieve it and show you guys the updates. But after a couple of hours, he should be fine. Flip him up so he's sitting in your lap like you were sure in a sheep, because his balls have to hang.
Like this?
Yeah. And those are just hanging there. I don't have the teeth in there.
Gotta roll the band off the top.
That's what I'm trying to do. Oh, no, buddy. Okay, there we go. There we go. And he's good.
Oh, he's not good.
Well,
He's pissed.
sit for a second. And he's right back to eating. Looking good. So that's it, guys. We got it on pretty easily. You just got to roll that band off. He squirmed a little bit towards the end once it was pinching and uncomfortable. Just trying to get the tool out, I think, was probably the hardest part. Thank you to my lovely assistant over here for holding said buckling.
Oh, I got a pencil in my ear.
You do. You always have a pencil in your ear. It's like a Sunday thing. There's always a pencil in your ear on the weekend.
I'm always working.
It's always working. So, and Ollie's holding my goat. That's not a euphemism for anything. It's just legitimately what ends up happening. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you learned something. I hope your first time goes as easily as my first time did. Don't forget to like that video, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell so you get the notifications.